gory, just realistic. A few more spooky items that I found, so I'm going to share those. Out there, I went straight to the Halloween section. Ghost snow shaker. What are these called? A snow shaker? A skeleton? Their teeth. Like real, well, not real, but I am extremely impatient. It's only been 30 minutes. Does it burn your house down? I hope not. We're gonna pop this sucker in the oven. It worked. He's super toasty. Feel like this is one of those scenarios where I should leave well enough alone, but am I gonna do that? Absolutely not. Hi guys, welcome back. I am feeling so much better creatively. I just don't really know what I ran into these last couple weeks to a month. I guess it just was uninspired. I really don't know what happened, but I'm definitely back on track. So this week we are making a mask. I want it to be gory, just realistic. I'm going to try my best to make it as realistic. I have this vision in my brain about what I want it to look like. So I want to show you a few supplies that I purchased to work on that with, but also I have a few more spooky items that I found, so I'm going to share those. A couple weeks ago, I thrifted this little black cat mug from the thrift store just in the Halloween section. I think this guy, no, his tag's gone, but I think this guy was like $1.83, and he matches, like in past videos I've showed my vampire mug, my smiley face mug, I have my ghost mug back here, and now I have a little black cat. It was just the best find. I found him as soon as we pretty much got there. I went straight to the Halloween section, and he was actually under some other junk, so I found him, and I'm excited to add him to the collection. Then this one my husband actually found. It's kind of funny because I am on the ghost kick and really into them, but my husband keeps finding all these things. So we went to the Dollar Tree last weekend just by ourselves. It was kind of fun. We just stopped in to like see what they had, and he found this little ghost snow shaker. What are these called? A snow shaker? A snow globe. A snow globe. And look, it's got little like black confetti in it and two little ghosts and bones. This was $1.25. $1.25. So it matches my little ghost theme that I'm trying to build, but I thought this was the cutest thing. We also got another one of these for our downstairs mantle where like our thing was that I talked about in last video, and I'm pretty sure it was a skeleton? A skeleton? I actually don't remember. He picked that one out. But anyway, they have these. They might not have these any longer though at Dollar Tree, because I'm sure you guys noticed this too, which kind of bums me out. But holiday themed items start like a month in advance, and then they sell out by the actual holiday, or they're replaced by the next holiday. So it seems like now, even if you would want to go out and like get something last minute for Halloween, most of the time everything is picked over, which I guess that makes sense. But I just remember like after holiday sales, you know, where you would like go in and everything was discounted. Well, now Dollar Tree already had their Halloween stuff discounted, and everything that was fall or Thanksgiving or Christmas, they already had aisles of Christmas, which was insanity, but not really, I guess. I don't know. But that's kind of disappointing because a lot of the Halloween stuff was picked over, but those were still there. So I don't know if they would be any longer, honestly. Okay, so on to the products I bought for this project. Now, I did not need to purchase these products. I wanted to work with these products. So that's why I purchased this. You can paper mache a mask from ground up paper mixed with water and glue. You can make a mask out of cardboard, out of plastic. You can actually use anything. But I have had these, I've been eyeballing these for quite some time because I worked with this material in high school and I had extra over the years like that I had brought home, and then I went through it and I've never repurchased this since. I mean, it has to be 10 years since I've worked with this product, but on Amazon they sell it. So I got a 6-pack of this, which I'm about to show you. It's just a plaster strip basically, but I got a 6-pack of this for like $9 on Amazon. I'm sure they still sell it at like craft stores and I mean probably anywhere. I don't really know. I just actually looked it up online, but it is a roll of plaster and it's just the best product, and I'll show you how we use it, but it is so cool. It's so moldable, and I just remember working with this, and I'm sure this is like a common product that everyone uses, but I have not worked with this in so long, so I'm excited to see if I still get that same feel from working with it. Like there's certain products that you work with, like clay or paints, that you just, I don't know, it gives you a certain type of like feel for what you're working on. So I'm excited for that. Now, this one, I purchased, they came in a 2-pack. I think they were like $5.99. My oldest sculpts a lot. She is a sculptor. She went through a phase of making masks herself, and she actually has a full wall of masks that she constructed in her room. So I actually learned about these from her and just bought my own, which actually she was out of them. So I'm glad I ended up purchasing them because I couldn't have just taken some. But this is probably an old product too that people have been working with. I see these all over the internet, right? But I personally have never worked with these. I'm so excited for this. Their teeth. Like real, well, not real, but you know what I mean? They look real. I mean, check those out. They're resin. Yeah, they're resin teeth. I love that they're not white. They're kind of like a normal tooth color, like an off-white. Just they look real. And the amount of things I could create with this that are just horrific. I am so looking forward to this. And so I plan on using these in my mask. But let me stop talking because I'll go on and on and on and on. And I will start the mask. I don't know if this will be a 2-part video, depending on the process of like the drying and where I end up on this by my like Friday deadline I give myself. It might turn into a construct video and then the detail video where I would paint and add everything to it. So I haven't quite decided. I'm just going to play that by ear. But if you want to see whatever's about to happen with this project, please stick around. So honestly, I don't really know how I'm going to do this. I have seen some people use foil as the mold for the plaster. I'm going to try that. I might not end up using it, but it's worth a shot. So first we're gonna though cut some strips of plaster that I think size-wise will work. And that's how easy this is. You just cut them into strips. You can always adjust the size, but I'm gonna have some like at least one roll pre-cut. Then you will dip them into water and take away the excess water. If you watched a few videos back when I did my paper mache hand, I was trying to replicate this process with the paper strips, but I obviously had too much water and not enough glue. But that was the concept I was going for, was being able to wet something and take away the excess water or whatnot, and then drape it over. So we'll get that effect with these plaster strips, but let's try to mold the face. This is probably going to be horrendous sound-wise, right? I don't know. How loud is this going to be? We'll have to figure that out later, but I want something super long. Like, I want a long, drawn-out face. Kind of like that, but we're gonna, you know, make, it's not bad. Okay, now we'll put this one. This probably sounds horrendous in my microphone. Okay, so I don't really know the process behind this, that, and then we'll just we'll kind of mold it around this when we lay the strips. If I need to do, let me see. I have no idea. Okay, anyway, let's go on. I'm gonna just wing this. So we're gonna take some water and maybe I should cut these in half again. All right, let's just go for it. We don't have to think that much about it. Okay, look how cool that is. It's just like an instant plaster piece. So let's try to make just the face shape, and then we can build up off that. Maybe we'll have to do some clay. I don't really know. But let's start with a base. So maybe we don't need to cut those. We're just gonna slap these on. This kind of looks like a Jason mask, but that's not at all what I'm going for. But we can always fix that. Just want to get the main layer down. We can kind of like, I don't know, we'll make like a crooked nose. See how moldable it is? So that's how you do it. And if you're looking for something perfect, I'm sure you could get it that way. You would just like use a smoother base, or I don't really know. I don't really know. I'm just talking, but you know, if you're looking for something more nice and neat, then I'm sure there are ways to do that. See, I actually just did this backwards. I wet it and now we're cutting it, so this is not nice and neat. All right, we're gonna lay that there. Seriously recommend working with this supply. It is so inexpensive, but it's like, I can't explain it, but it just feels like a cloth, but it's also so like moldable. Okay. I'm gonna keep adding these in there. Do the chin. I feel like the mouth needs to be set in, right? And then the chin, that looks pretty good. We just want him to look like not okay. That's what we're going for. Now, from what I understand, obviously I should be able to take, not obviously, because this does not look obvious, but I should, in my brain, be able to take this away from the foil, and it will be a mask. It's just going to pop right off the foil. I'm sure that's going to be a nightmare. Let's be realistic. Alrighty. We need to flatten this one. But what it should do is harden away, and I can peel the foil out. Then once I have my shell of the face made, I can go in and like tighten the corners of it and the base, basically, because I'll have the initial piece. So this is kind of what we're going for. Here's the eyes. Just kind of like smash those in, and the face back. Okay. I know this isn't looking like much. It's really not, but the vision's there. And we'll just kind of wing it once it's dry. I can definitely probably guess at this point that this would be only one video, because this guy will dry right up. I don't think it's going to need much more, and then I'll just be decorating it. So that's better than I thought. I just kind of want like a melty, I gotta pull my sleeve up, but I don't want to get stuff on it. There we go. I just want a melty, creepy, deteriorating mask. Do we think this is going to pop right out of the foil? Or is that pure delusion? Alright, well, I am about done laying this, so I'm going to double check everything off camera. Lay any more pieces that we may or may not need to cover, like probably right there, you know, make that a little stronger. And when he's dry, I will come back and show you that result, and then we'll start from there, basically. So I will see you guys in a little bit. Okay, we're at the point where I am extremely impatient. The face is completed, the base of it, and it's only been 30 minutes. So I impatiently looked up a way that this could dry quicker. It's still very wet, and I read it takes like 24 hours for the actual plaster to set and dry, but there's an alternative. You can put it in your oven at 200 degrees for 15 minutes on foil. So we already set ourselves up for success with that. But does it burn your house down? I hope not. I mean, I read it on the internet. I'm assuming this should be good to put in there, and it's supposed to dry. So I am thinking the foil after the fact is not coming off or out of this, but I also will have to just play that by ear when it gets done baking. So next step, we're gonna pop this sucker in the oven and just see what it comes out like, because we really don't know. We're experimenting. It worked. He's super toasty. You can like hear the difference. You know, he's all dried up. This part's maybe like a little, you know, it could go a little longer, but definitely not what it was before I put it in there. I actually ended up adding another 7 minutes or so, and then I let it just sit in the oven until the oven, you know, turned it off, and then let it sit in the oven until it was cool. But now I'm kind of scared because we're going to try to peel this foil out, and I feel like this is one of those scenarios where I should leave well enough alone, but am I going to do that? Absolutely not. So here we go. I don't want this crumbly stuff in there, so maybe, okay, maybe this is not so bad. I have to be like patient and not just rip it out of there. Okay. Then uh-oh, that's stuck in the foil. There we go. Then I feel like I should leave it sit. This is so scary. I know it's just peeling away, but I feel like I'm going to crack it or something. Uh-oh. This is all fixable though, so I just need to keep that in mind. Let's just keep going. Oh, here we go. Ta-da! That's exciting. Okay, so the edges are still a little wet, you know, where it didn't set very well in the oven because the foil was like under it. Still a few little wet points, but I'm gonna set this aside, let it dry. I may or may not pop it back in the oven on foil. You know what? I think I'm actually going to go put it back in the oven now that it's unwrapped from this wad of foil and just lay it flat on foil so that the inside here can kind of dry up as well. So when I come back, we'll be ready to paint and work on this guy. Just kidding. I'm going to add a little bit more around the edges where they were kind of looking crazy so that it doesn't just crumble. Then I'm going to pop it in the oven. I wanted to make a point of that because you do want to make sure it's secure, and you know, like some of this could be fixed up a little, but you want to make sure it's secure, especially if you're going to hang it or work with it afterwards. So fix up any little parts that need strengthened and then pop it back in the oven. Completely dry. I strengthened the corners, or you know, the edges, put it back in the oven. I want to say it was probably like another 20-25 minutes, and then it's actually the next day, so I just let it sit overnight with my room fan on, and it's ready to go. So we are going to paint the base. I'm not sure if I will show everything on video or if I'll speed it up. I'm just going to play that by ear also based on how I work. I want it, you know, I said in the beginning that I want it to look as natural as possible, though I have made it look not so realistic, not so realistic at all. But we're gonna lay like a yellowy, we're gonna start like this. forgot to turn my phone down, so that's what's going off in the background. Let me do that real quick. Okay. We're going to do some white and some yellow and just kind of blend this out. So this is where we're starting. I am going to do the base color. Then I want to come back in and add shadowing, details. I haven't decided if I'm going to keep the eyes or punch them out. So let me get my base color down. It's going to be this like yellowy beige base, and then I will be right back. I've pretty much just been going in and shading out things with brushes and my fingers and whatever has been creating what I'm thinking of. But now I'm just gonna like amp it up a bit because what else would it need? But I'm gonna take this like tissue, and I love doing this in projects, so I just take it and add it for texture. So I'm gonna go in and add like disgusting texture to this and continue to shade, continue to play around with color. So when it's time to do like the teeth and such, I also have what I think I'm going to put on as hair, and I'll come back and just show you where I'm at in this process, because I always kind of play it by ear. Like I have a vision, but I'm basically playing it by ear, so this might be a minute, and then I'll just show you what I came up with. So I will see you guys back in just a little bit. Onto the teeth, because I'm just getting impatient with the painting. I'm gonna have to let some of it dry and then go back, add more detailing. Like obviously I want to highlight the eyes a little more and carve them out, and probably do a little more on the nose so it like stands out. But let's get the teeth in, because I'm not exactly sure how to get these in here. We're gonna use super glue, not hot glue. I'm probably going to regret this. I'm not 100%, but we're going to wing it like we pretty much do most things. So here we go. Oh, they're kind of sticky from being stuck there. Okay, let me kind of... Alright, we're just going to go for it. I'm not going to overthink it too much, because I just want them to look... I actually don't know. I want to put them in there. Let's just get them in there. I'm going to regret this also, because it's about to be all over my hands. I do this every time. Okay. We're going to let that sit. We're going to do another one. We're also probably going to paint over these and add more texture, but I'm pretty much just wanting to build the bones, I guess, and then move on. Is there glue in this super glue? Like, what is happening? Okay, there we go. Alright, see how this works? Terrible idea. But that's okay. There we go. It's on there. Oh, I had to touch it. Okay, hold on. There we go. So, this is going to be a painstakingly long process, it looks like. So, I now have this going, and I'm going to finish the teeth, come back, show you, we'll do the hair, and then I'll finish it up with the, like, final touches. Alright, I'm going to show you. Sometimes it feels super, like I laugh, I feel like, when I get a little uncomfortable, because sometimes it feels like super vulnerable showing work on the internet. Okay, so I just created this, okay, very much from nothing. This is what goes on in my brain, so I just feel like sometimes it comes off strange, but maybe someone else can appreciate, like, a darker art, you know. I know there's a lot of us out there. So I did all my shading. I did the eyes more of how I wanted. I didn't think they were dark enough. Added the teeth and did some, you know, detailing around the mouth. There's some shading around the head. Could everything be a little more evenly coated? Sure, but that was not, you know, what I was actually going for. I was going for very disheveled, rotting look. You know what's ironic is this video started with me wanting it to look as natural as possible. So, you know, that went a little to the side. But now we're going to put the hair on. So I have my hot glue gun heating up. I bought this hot glue gun, by the way, from Walmart. These are like $4.98 at Walmart. You cannot beat that. You buy the tiny little glue sticks that I believe are maybe a couple dollars for the bag. So if you guys are looking for, you know, just like a basic glue stick that covers, you know, just here and there of things that you need for it, I wouldn't purchase it for, like, any type of heavy duty, you know, like, if you specialize in something like that, just get probably a better one. But this one is perfect for just, like, all the little needs I've come across. Alright, so we're gonna do some hair. This is actually some felt from my felting kits that I have and I've showed in the past. I figured, what else could we do for hair? I was almost thinking yarn, and then I remembered that I had this kit. So I was like, oh, this is going to be the perfect hair. Alright, so we'll just add a little hot glue. Slap that on there. No, we're not going for perfect. We're going to put this little piece up here. And ta-da! Let's get that glue wiped out. This is my masterpiece. Not to some. It did not turn out to be a mask with the punch outs that most, I'm assuming, traditional masks have, where you would just wear it. This was more of a mask that I wanted to hang in my office, kind of similar to my hand that I had built for my jewelry. So this is what we got. This is the final piece. I, always mess with my art enough to like let it dry a couple days, maybe go in and add some extra highlighting and such. But for the most part, I'm done. I'm going to let it dry. And if you made it through to right now, I appreciate you. Same, that never gets old. I appreciate you being here. And also, you can just comment, like, is this your style of art? Do you like cuter things? What do you create? I would love to hear that. And it's spooky month, so this is so fitting. I will see you guys on next week's video.